What's going on, guys? JB Lion back with another video, and today we're doing the highly anticipated video of my thoughts and my opinions on Chelsea's transfers so far. If you're wondering why my hair is blowing an absolute gale, because there's a fan on the floor here, because it is rather toasty in England, as it always is. But yeah, let's get into this. Like we always say, if you're new around here, or if you like the video, please do hit the like button, and if you're new around here, hit the sub button. If you want to know when I upload, please do hit that bell icon, and let's just get straight into this. Before I start, I just wanted to show you guys, I got some new football boots the other day. My family got me, and my dad, my stepmom and my dad got me them, and they got me these lovely boots, some Skechers, which, you know, I always thought Skechers were quite expensive, but these boots, which, you know, I know Skechers ain't a brand for everyone, some people prefer Nike, Adidas, which is fine, but for £10, what's 60 quid down to £10? Look at that, can't go wrong. 10 bob for these. So if you guys are looking just for, you know, maybe a nice pair of boots to try out, or if you need a new pair, £10, can't go wrong. Black and orange, you know, blue's my favourite colour, orange is my favourite colour, so technically black and orange is absolutely perfect for me. Look at the state of those. For £10 as well, can't go wrong, so thank you to them for that. But yeah, let's get straight into this. So, Chelsea's transfers so far, my goodness, where do we even start? I'm going to kind of not just focus on transfers, I'm going to talk about Chelsea as in a general at the moment, so far what's been going on. So, starting way back, Xabi Alonso coming in. Mr. Xabi Alonso coming in has been an absolute breath of fresh air for Chelsea FC. You know, we have absolutely looked like a different team. We haven't even started playing properly yet, so, you know, we've had a few games behind closed doors, but I just mean as in the club in a general. The fact he's come in and he's been able to be the manager is a great start. The fact he's been able to basically be in control of all the transfers and stuff is absolutely amazing, really. And you know what, for once it's actually good to have a manager who's come in and take control of the club, so it's good to have Xabi Alonso in. I had my thoughts and opinions before, because I thought, I don't know if he is the man for the job. You know, he did well at Leverkusen and then he didn't have a good time at Madrid, but from, you know, transfer aspect and the fact he's come in and taken control, he's done well so far. I'm obviously yet to see Chelsea play under his sort of steered ship. We got a game in a few days' time, a pre-season friendly game against Adelaide, I want to say it is, on Tuesday. Obviously it's hard to say how we're going to do in those pre-season games, because pre-season means nothing, because under, who was it, we had a manager, under one of the managers, we had a crazy good pre-season, and then it got to the actual season and we was a bit toilet. So I kind of take pre-season with a pinch of salt. But from what I've seen, he seems like a good manager. He's got the players behind him, so that is good. Obviously, Chelsea as a club, we've made some key signings. I'll post some pictures around there. You got Leclerc, Rodgers, you know, Palestri. There's Barco. Who else? Oh, there's so many players that we've brought in. Oh, Engama. Oh, I don't know, the striker from Strasbourg. They were two players that came in. And yeah, you know, these are a list of players that we've kind of brought in over the summer and into now. And yeah, a few of them are obviously big statements. Rodgers, Leclerc obviously Premier League proven with Crystal Palace, helped him in the European competitions that they recently just had. And then obviously Rodgers, same with Aston Villa, helped him in the European competitions they've just had. So they're two big statement signings. I don't think they'll be the last. I do think we're going to make another statement signing, and I think these are the sort of signings Chelsea need to do to hoist themselves back up into the positions they need to be. I think their owners do need to trust Alonso. Obviously it's hard to say you can do all of this work with making statement signings, you know, doing all the hard work of, you know, doing this stuff, and then it gets to the season and it absolutely capitulates and falls apart. But I just don't know. I've got a good feeling with Alonso. I think there's something there that you know, we haven't had before, and that's actually a manager being in control of it, absolutely everything, rather than being a coach. So we should say, obviously, not to say the season's going to be easy, because it's not. I feel like this season's going to be one of the most competitive seasons, and yeah, I think Alonso's really going to be tested, but I do think that he should and hopefully will hit the ground running. Moving on to another subject of ours, transfer still, but the player who's currently on my wall, Enzo Fernandez. Where do we even start with this? Obviously, he had the World Cup, he did the whole lot, celebration and all of that against England. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking purely about the player and what I think he can do for Chelsea. And I think there is a lot. You know, I think he gets a lot of stick. And as a Chelsea fan, I've always said this about players. As long as they're not going to a direct rival to us and causing us any issues, then, you know, I feel like it should be fine. But there has been talks in the last couple of coming days that he could potentially go to Man City. But the problem we have is Chelsea want at least 110 million for him. And I've just seen that Man City have just spent 116 million on Anderson. I can't see them splashing out 110 on Enzo. Not to say that it might not happen, but I just can't see it. And my opinion on the player staying, definitely. He's a World Cup winner. He's won stuff with Chelsea previously. He's a leader. He's all of these characteristics that you need in a team. He's that player that winds other players up. And yeah, I just think, you know, yes, you can have your opinion and say, you know, he said he doesn't want to play for the club, and the thing is, he's never ever hid that factor. He's always, you know, wanted to play for Real Madrid. He's South American. They all absolutely love it. And, you know, at the end of the day, people need to get their heads around that a player is allowed to say if they want to leave a club, or, you know, players aren't going to play for clubs forever. And I think, you know, back in the day when you're talking my favourite player ever, Frank Lampard and John Terry, you know, they were players who would stay at the club, but you don't get many players who are that loyal to clubs. Like, obviously, the most recent one I can think of is Jared Bowen. You know, he had great offers from different clubs, but he's decided to put his heart in West Ham, and that's fine, but you don't see it very often, so it doesn't surprise me when fans get upset over players wanting to leave a club, wanting to go elsewhere. If they don't, you know, people need to understand that in this day and age, it's hard. Players want to play at the top level, and unfortunately Chelsea didn't reach that top level last season, and it's a reality for us fans, and we should understand that. You know, if players want to go and play in the Champions League, want to reach these top levels, and it's understandable. You know, if you're kind of getting into the latter stage of your careers, which Enzo Fernandez isn't, but if you are, then it's kind of, you need to understand that players do want to move on and want to go higher and reach their peaks. Obviously, if we can keep players, happy days. You know, it's absolutely wonderful. If Enzo Fernandez wants to stay at Chelsea, I'm more than happy to have him at Chelsea. Like I said, he brings a captaincy to the squad. He brings a characteristic, that winning mentality. You know, what everything Alonso's screaming for, which is mentality. And I think Enzo Fernandez has got that. If he decides to stay at the club, I'm more than happy. Obviously, if he decides to leave, as long as he's not leaving to a direct rival like Man City, which, you know, it could potentially happen, then yeah, it is what it is. But I wouldn't say no to him at the club. You know, Chelsea fans going out there screaming, get this player out of the club, bloody blah, because of what he did against England. Yes, it wasn't nice. I'm an English fan myself, and it wasn't nice to see that from him, but it doesn't mean anything to Chelsea, and that's what people need to do, is that we're back into the club football when he's playing for Chelsea, and that's how we need to see it. We don't need to look at it at like, oh, what he did against England, because it's just a load of old rubbish. We need to be looking at what he's doing for our club, and if he's going to come to Chelsea, bring us goals and actually play decent football, then so be it. He can stay. In my honest opinion, I know some people are completely thinking different, and that's fine. But for me, honestly, Enzo needs to stay if he can, because he's a key player to what we're going to build at Stamford Bridge. Yes, you could say if he leaves, we could buy Chouameni, someone a bit more what we need in that midfield, but I think Enzo under Alonso can do that, and people need to remember, yes, he's a box crasher and all of this and scored plenty of goals, but at Benfica he was a CDM, so he has that capability of playing that defensive role alongside Caicedo. You know, and this is what we need to try and remember realistically. But yes, obviously it's going to be, for me, he can stay. But overall, so far, I'm happy with the transfers. I'm yet to obviously see a Chelsea game. Like I said, our first game that I'm going to be able to properly watch is on a Tuesday at 10:45. So it is going to certainly be an interesting one to see, to say the least. I think that, you know, we have got the ability, but I'm taking pre-season with a pinch of salt. Obviously, if we keep all our players fit this season, we've definitely got a squad to be scared of. Obviously, goalkeeper situation is still up in the air, but Alonso has come out and said he wants to do a pre-season first to really see what keepers he's got and if he needs to upgrade that position. But yes, it's going to be certainly a crazy good season. But yes, guys, I just want to say at the end of this video, thank you so much for all the new subs. I've been doing my shorts and you guys have been absolutely loving them, so thank you so much for that. Thank you for everyone who watches. I really do appreciate it. Like I always say, I absolutely love making content for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this. New season inbound for Chelsea, lots of content on the way for you guys. And yeah, like I always say, if you enjoyed this video, I've been JB Lion. I'll see you dudes, dudettes, and everyone else in my next video. Peace, guys. Woo! Up the Chels!